Did you want to get to some more Pulse centric stuff and just kind of see what you're seeing? I want you to take it wherever you want to take it, because I'm interested. Like, what do you think of the core tokens? What's the most bullish chart, or the one that you're most interested in right now? And then we can even do offshoots of that, like within the whole ecosystem, what you're just really, really looking at or finding bullish at the moment.
Well, there's new coins every day, it seems. The main chart that I've been, so in regards to Pulse, let's start at home base. In regards to Pulse, the main chart that I look at is wrapped ETH pricing for wrap Pulse. So in that case, this is on the ETH side. Pulse is up 53% in 141 days over ETH. That means that you could have, gotten 50% more ETH, just by holding Pulse during this period. You could have doubled your ETH back from up here on this wick high. You could have doubled your ETH by buying and accumulating wrap Pulse down here. Now that's a pretty juicy thing. Like if you put 1,000 ETH into wrap Pulse down here, you could have turned it into 2,000 ETH up here. So there's going to be whales that are going to jump on that opportunity as this market structure continues to build out and you get higher and higher prices here. One by one, a whale will step in to try to play that game to get more ETH through the price appreciation of Pulse. And this was just a normal 140 days of a flat bottom, broadening wedge pattern with a clear break of structure, retest, and then resumption off that level. And we just got rejected off the highest volume traded area, which was our previous kind of like, I don't know, you could say problem level from the past, where SEC crash wick low, support breakdown. We've turned that into resistance, turned it into support, tried to turn it into support, turned it into kind of like an oscillation area here where it didn't know if it was support or resistance. And this is where Richard came in and made his statement. The price started to pump and SAC funds were being deployed. On the way back down, we tapped it, and finally broke through. And then that turned to resistance. And so then what we needed to do was build a new base. And that's what we did for this period of time here. I think there's about $9 million traded inside of here. And so there was a huge accumulation range. And look, there's no ETH here. There's 1.7 ETH in this pool. But you're telling me that a pool with only 1.7 ETH in it can do $9 million of trading volume over 141 days? Like, that's because somebody here is accumulating through limit orders, or there's a bot here, or there's something here protecting this floor and making sure that that's in. So that's my case on Pulse is like, look, smart money wasn't letting this thing go lower. It was protecting the ecosystem for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was acting as resistance, right? I mean,
that's right.
We need to bust through level.
Yeah, you got to bust through that and start getting a lot of volume up above that level to start to make this point of control.
And that's what those bars are on the left, right? That's the amount of volume and orders, the order books, basically.
This is where the most volume went through, is right here between 2352 and 2709.
Yep. And then after you break through the next one, then it really lessens. I mean, I'm sure
it could be like a consolidation structure like this, where you get like an ascending triangle, or you could get like I don't know. There's a couple different things that could happen here. You just don't want to break. This, even breaking this isn't the end of the world, but you definitely don't want to make new lows. So that's all fair game.
What do you think the chances of that happening are? I mean, because it looks good. It seems like we're out of the woods there, even though we are seeing a pullback right now.
If ETH rips really, really hard vertically overnight in 2x's, like, yeah, you could see this could come back down here.
Right.
But then that would mean that the Pulse price in dollars is going to rip, because it's going to track with ETH. So then this goes up. So there's nuance to the ETH pricing for sure.
Plus, long term, we want ETH to go up. So I mean, if that would come to revisit that, it isn't the end of the world.
Nope. EHEX back in the day got its butt whooped by ETH so many times in that cycle, and still did the 10,000x.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then here in Pulse in dollar terms, it's just range bound. It kind of did a bull flag here, and it made some lower lows and started inside of this microstructure, but it didn't make like a major low. So here's your bull flag that you're printing, and made these lower lows and lower highs inside of here, And so what are we looking for? Well, in the microstructure, you're looking for that first higher low, which you got here. And then what you're looking for next is a break here to get a higher high from this lower high. So if you go from a lower low to a higher high, that's the hallmark of a reversal inside of this microstructure. Now, had this price came down here and closed below 43, we'd be in trouble, because then that would imply that we're going back to revisit the lows, which we did not do yet. So price of Pulse looks strong, and that could be because of Hex. I don't know. Probably is because of Hex. Because everything has to route through Pulse to get the Hex. So it's Pulse looks very healthy to me, and I don't think it's going to take much to have this thing basically get right back to SAC. Like, it could happen in days. It doesn't have to happen. I mean, not days from now, but just the process of getting from the breakout of this high here to the SAC rate, that could just take mere days, a couple 3-day candles, maybe 9 days max. You know, it's going to be, oh man, I'm getting excited, guys.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that, because I have been, at every moment that I have access to fiat, I'm just dumping it in. You know what I mean? Like ASAP, as soon as I can. I'm not like trying to, you know, I'm not, there's a lot of fine lines. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, wait for a specific moment. I hear a lot of people like, well, maybe I will this week, maybe I will next week. And I'm like, maybe you get lucky and you get a better price or whatever, but I do not want to be playing that game of chicken right now. Like, you've seen how it can rip before. I mean, just look back into March of this year, and, you know, obviously we're looking for much bigger pumps than that. But I mean, when it turns, like you just said, it's just going to go, and it may not come back. So that's why I've just been trying to get in everything ASAP right now.
I think I laid a pretty good enough case here on the microstructure that this looks like it's going to at least try to get above this key level here of 52.42 or whatever, which was, that's where we played with it here.
Right.
And you flip that as support, and then look, last time we just went straight up. So I don't know, you know, how much, you know, maybe you break up here, you consolidate a little bit, and then you just go, you do like 2 little consolidation periods, and then you just kind of go. And that's not even a 2x. That's a 68% move. And we've seen Hex, you know, recently do this, which was destructive. It was a
4x, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 3x over Pulse. So then against USD, it was like a freaking 4x, I think. It was a 5.3x.
There you go.
So imagine you get that on Pulse. I'm not saying that'll happen right away. That would probably happen later, but a 5.3x, I mean, that's
in that amount of time.
That's to the high. That's the all-time high from where we're at now.
Wow.
Boom.
And then once you get there, look out.
Well, yeah, once you break above this giant falling channel, then you can start to create corrective pressure up here and start to build out a base to target higher price levels later into next year. So like getting above these resistance line, it's diagonal here. And the longer this takes, the lower this trend line goes down. So it's pretty nice, because then, you know, the longer it's taken, you can basically break up and then grind line that stuff. And there will be lots of buyers in here trying to buy. And so long as like the market makers play it right, you won't get the same type of flush as you did here. This time, it'll be more like like Hex was in its early days, where it did like one of these and it came back to test the high and then it retraced. And then it came up to test the high and it made new high and then it fully retraced. At least you'll create long-term market structure up here to set up for the bigger move in the late stages of the bull, where you do something like this and then you build out like that nice clean parabola for higher prices.
Looking
Looking
good.
forward to it.
Looking good to me.
Yeah, don't get shaken out here.
Right.
A lot of people will sell inside of here, and that's what creates this sideways action. Don't get shaken out here, guys.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, this is going to be, you know, their first real look at like a crazy parabolic bull market, and surviving those dips along the way is going to be interesting. But I mean, that's why we're here. That's why a lot of these channels and these content creators are here to kind of, you know, be here with you guys through it, obviously.